In our previous video, we explored both the external factors such as the information we consume and what we listen to, and whom we interact with, and the internal factors such as negative thinking and desires, significantly influence our inner selves and consequently our overall health. This creates the needs for internal and external modes of protection to build resilience and to safeguard the well-being of our mind, body, and soul. We've discovered that restoring our health requires a holistic approach, one that incorporates tangible treatments and therapies alongside spiritual and psychological methods of coping to avoid or reduce consequences of potential harm. While navigating these tools, we also learned that individuals may vary in the extent to which they utilize them. In the third chapter, Sustenance of the Soul, al-Balkhi cautions, be aware of the degree of forbearance that your soul can bear, recognizing that for everyone, their soul has limits and this varies from person to person. Al-Balkhi continues, every individual has a different level of endurance, the strength of their heart and their weakness, the breadth of their chest, and the constriction of their frame. This varying endurance is closely tied to the concept of uncertainty tolerance. That is a person's ability to adapt with not knowing what's coming next. When individuals have low uncertainty tolerance, that makes it difficult to navigate challenging circumstances, and one may find themselves paralyzed by the fear of the unknown, and be reluctant to make decisions, and have anxiety and find it difficult to cope with change. Now, uncertainty tolerance is also deeply rooted in Islamic teachings. As Muslims, we emphasize the embodiment of tawakkul, or trust in Allah's plan. By relying on Allah and entrusting our affairs with Him, we can confront the challenges with patience and certainty. And now I want to stop here because it brings to mind the resilient spirit of the people of Gaza. As they face abrupt and unprecedented loss, we see on our screens an unwavering stance of Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil. Allah alone is sufficient for us and He is the best disposer of our affairs. I encourage you to recite this, Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil, when you find yourself in an overwhelming situation. Recognize that Allah is greater than any harm or affliction you face, and that He is the all-knowing and knows beyond what you can comprehend at this moment. By doing so, you lift the load off of your shoulders and trust that He will give you the strength to overcome what is unimaginable. When all seems lost, and when it seems like there is no hope and no way out, Allah reminds us in Surah Al-Talaq, وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا. And whoever is mindful of Allah, He will make a way out for them. And Allah Azza wa Jal loves those who rely upon Him. وَمَنْ يَتَوَكَّلَ عَلَى اللَّهَ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ. And whoever puts their trust in Allah, then He alone is sufficient for them. Another beautiful reminder that our faith teaches us is that we can find comfort, that we will be compensated for any challenge no matter how big or small that we face with tawakkul. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, no fatigue, nor disease, nor sorrow, no sadness, nor hurt, nor distress befalls a Muslim, even if they were a prick of a thorn, but that Allah expiates some of their sins. Now, if this is something you struggle with, you're not alone. Begin by acknowledging that it is okay to feel uneasy about uncertainties. Developing tawakkul and uncertainty tolerance requires patience, consistent self-reflection, and understanding in the end that it'll be okay under Allah's wisdom. Al-Balkhi also recognized that some individuals may experience these challenges, and for some, they may be traumatized or succumb to the slightest emotional aggravation, losing their ability to reduce tension and solve problems when they're faced by recourse of available methods. Al-Balkhi then clarifies that this can overcome individuals to the point that they can lead them to develop a bodily disorder. And then Balkhi recommends, if a person comes to know the nature of their soul, to the degree to which they can tolerate stress, then they could decide based on their knowledge what kinds of problems they are ready to face and what problems they should avoid. As we navigate the pressures of this dunya, we can implement this advice through self-reflection, taking the time to understand your soul. What are your strengths, your limitations? What causes you unease? In the midst of hardship, we must reassure ourselves in Allah's promise that He does not burden a soul more than it can bear, but we must also do our part to navigate the challenge with understanding of our strength and our limitations, and recognizing and seeking help when we need it. Lastly, I want to end on a concept that I touched on earlier that can comfort our souls when we can't understand the wisdom behind a situation we're in. Allah reminds us that perhaps you hate a thing and it is good for you, and perhaps you love a thing and it's bad for you, and Allah knows while you do not. This cognitive reframing encourages us to reevaluate the circumstances we're in and to try to see it in a more positive light. It allows us to shift our thought patterns and prevent us from negative spiraling. So amidst the external pressures of this world, we can find solace by shifting our perspectives to the challenges we encounter.